Hey guys, so today we are multiplying and dividing decimal numbers by powers of 10. So let's jump into it and have a look at what we need to do today. So when we multiply and divide by powers of 10, basically what we're doing is we're multiplying a decimal number, and let me write one up here. Let's say I've got 1.23. We're multiplying by a number that is a power of 10. Now what is a power of 10? Well, 10 is a power of 10, okay? 100 is a power of 10, 1000 is a power of 10, and basically all it means is when I have 10 to the power of 1, it basically means I've got 1 0, okay? If I've got 10 to the power of, say, 4, what that would actually mean is I've got 10,000, okay? Because I've got 10 and 4 zeros, okay? So that's all a power of 10 is. You guys won't see any of this happening though. You'll just have numbers like that. So you could have 10, you could have 100, you could have 1,000, you could have 100,000 and so on, okay? The only thing that you need to know here is you need to recognize how many zeros that we have within our question, because the zeros are going to determine how many times we move this decimal place, okay? So that's a really important point. So let's have a look at some of the things that we're going to be doing in this lesson. So firstly, when we're multiplying, we are going to move the decimal point to the right, okay? So if I have 1.23 and I times it by 10, I'm going to count how many zeros I have in my question, or the number that I'm multiplying by. And in this instance, it's 1 0. And then I'd come back to my original number and I'd move my decimal place once to the right. Okay, so when we multiply, we move our decimal place once to the right. Okay, and that would give us 12.3. However, when we divide, okay, once again, we look at what our power of 10 is. In this instance, it's 100, which means we have 2 zeros there. Okay. And instead of moving right, we move left this time. So that means that I would move 2 places to the left. Okay, 2 places to the left to give me 0.0123. Okay, and obviously we move the decimal point by the number of zeros that are in the question. Okay, by the number of zeros in the question. And that's all we need to do in this lesson, okay? That's all we need to do in this lesson. So all you need to do is firstly identify whether or not you're doing multiplication or division. Let's have a look at this question here. So I'm doing multiplication. So that means that I'm going to have to move my decimal point, okay, to the right. I've got to move it to the right. And in order to work out how many times I need to move it to the right, I look at how many zeros are in the number you are multiplying by. So I'm multiplying by 100 and it has 2 zeros in it. Okay, 2 zeros in it. So that means I need to shift it by 2 places, and that is going to give me an answer of 242. Now the only change there obviously is when we have division, and with division we shift our decimal point to the left, okay, rather than the right. So now it's time for you guys to have a go. It's important to understand that these are all multiplications. So all of the decimal points will be shifting to the right. Okay, they'll be shifting to the right. And you need to make sure that when you shift them to the right, you count how many zeros there are in your questions, okay, to determine how many times right you move them. So have a go at those. I'm going to give you 2 minutes and good luck. Okay, so let's go through the answers for these ones. So I'm doing multiplication, okay, so I'm moving my decimal point to the right. And in this question, I've got 1, 2, 3 zeros. So I go 1, 2, 3 places to give me an answer of 34. This one here, I'm multiplying by 10, which only has 1 0. So once again, I shift my decimal point once to the right and it becomes 63.2. The next one here is a little bit different in the fact that this number actually doesn't have a decimal point. However, every single whole number always has a decimal point. It just comes after the last digit. So I'm just going to add in a few zeros here to make it a bit easier for me. And now I need to shift it 1, 2, 3 times. So I go 1, 2, 3 times, and that gives me 12,000. Basically, all we've done there is we've just added on those 3 zeros to the 12, okay? Our next question here, I'm multiplying by 10,000, okay, by 10,000. So that means I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4 places to get me to 10,073, okay? All right, time to do some division now. So we're going to do division. Remember, with division, we've got to move to the left, okay? We're going to go to the left. And we are multiplying and we're moving by the number of zeros that are in the question. It's exactly the same, except now we're moving to the left and not the right. You've got 2 minutes to get these done and then we'll go through the answers. Good luck. Okay, so let's go through the answers to these and let's see how you went. So the first one here, we've got 2 zeros. So I need to move my decimal point 2 places to the right to give me 0.134. This time I've got 3 decimal places. So let's go here. So let's go 1, 2, 3 decimal places. I've got 0.1234, okay? My next one here is we're dividing by 1,000, okay? So once again, this is one of those ones where if you want, you can add in some zeros to make it a bit easier for you, okay? But I just shift 3 places, 1, 2, 3. It's going to end up there. So I've got 1, 2, 3 zeros, 4 zeros, and then my 2. So 0.00002, okay? Quite a long answer, that one. This one here I'm dividing by 10,000, so I've got 4 zeros in my question, and once again here I can, if I want, I can add some zeros in to make it a bit easier for me, and now I shift by 4 places, so 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, so my answer is going to be 0012. 2. Okay, guys, that's basically dividing and multiplying decimals by powers of 10. It is a pretty straightforward topic. If you have any questions, please make sure that you ask. If not, go over to the questions and start getting those done. Good luck, and hopefully you've understood everything we've done there.